Hey everyone, Brian from Bearable Traders here. It is Sunday, May the 16th, halfway through May. I hope you had a good weekend. And of course, this is the Sunday evening weekly market review where we take a look back, see how we traded last week, and try to get a sense of where we're going this week. As you probably know, we had a pretty good day. Thursday and Friday was a strong day, but overall on the weeklies, we actually finished down on the week. So it was a bit of a mixed bag last week, and that's basically what I've been saying here. I think we're getting into sort of a period in the market where we're just going to kind of chop sideways. We were getting pretty extended from the moving averages and needed to have a little bit of a pullback here. So let's take a look at the week, how we finished off, and take a look and see where we might be going from here. Okay, so before we get things going here, this is my book on Amazon, How to Swing Trade. If you have not checked it out yet, it's there. And I am working on another book. It will be hopefully out a little later this year, but more to come on that. So let's jump over to the indexes and take a look at where we were last week and where we might be going here going forward. Okay, so we always like to start out with the yields because kind of keeping a close eye on those in case we get a big move one way or another. The TLT, the 20-year Treasury bond prices, you can see here we're just basically chopping in a range somewhere between 130 and 140. We were up, we were down on the early part of the week and then up in the last 2 days. But again, just sort of choppy price action sideways. Stochastics are turning up here, so I'm going to keep an eye on that, which means if the bond prices go up, yields will drop, which will be good for the markets. And here's the 10-year. It is looking, again, pretty choppy, stuck in a range here, and almost making a bit of a pennant here. So we'll watch to see which way that one breaks. And let's get into the indexes, the transports on the daily. You can see here, big doji candle on Monday. Had a big pullback right to the 20 moving average by Wednesday, and then bounced right off that Thursday and Friday back to close to all-time high. You can see here we're up about 1 1/3% on the daily, but on a weekly basis, again, a bit of an indecision candle on the transports, and you can see here we're still pretty overbought on the RSI. So again, we just seem to be, we are still pretty far from this moving average. Still think we need to pull back a little bit. The Dow, again, sort of same story of the tape. Doji, two down days, two back up days, Thursday, Friday. And again, on the week, we were down over 1% on the Dow on the week. So again, probably it's a bit of a healthy correction. You can see the volume kind of kicked up a bit here on the weekly for the Dow. The Qs, again, not looking anywhere near as healthy as the Dow or the SPY for that matter. You can see here we got up into this range, put in a double top, and then put in a lower high, and now we've been pulling back here into sort of an area where we've got a lot of price and volume traded in this range. So looking for some pretty significant support here, and we got that on Thursday, Friday. Volume pretty light on Friday, despite we had a pretty rip-roaring rally back. And on the week, you can see here we put 4 weeks in a row together where we've had red weeks, and this one was down about 2 1/3%. And you can see each week here we've been building on volume, so you can probably see that maybe institutions are lightening up on their positions. You can see stochastics rolling over here. Qs may actually have some more downside. Could be looking at 310 or even 300 on the downside. The SPY, again, a better looking chart. Pretty lackluster volume on Friday. And again, we were down 1 1/3 on the week, roughly. Again, just still pretty extended up here, but we are working our way back into sort of a more normal range for the RSI. And you can see here, volume was above average on Friday, or on the week, SPYs. IWM, again, pretty choppy in this range here. You can see that's pretty indicative with these moving averages, how they converge together. That basically tells you we're in a choppy market, which is definitely what's going on with the IWM. Selling off, then sort of coming back up. Again, on the daily, we had not great volume on Friday on that bounce back. And on the week, see our volume was up, and we were down about almost 2% on the week. So not looking particularly constructive on the IWM either. And you can see here, stochastics heading lower, RSI heading lower. Um, IWM could be in for a bit of a rough ride here too. The dollar's just a sell-off, bounce, sell-off, bounced again. So we'll see where it goes from here. Again, when you look at the monthly, let's take a quick look at the monthly. It's got a lot more downside if it really decides to go there. So we could be coming down here, but we'll see what happens on the dollar. It will be good for commodities. Commodities will continue to strengthen probably, and emerging markets should start to perform a little better. And you can see here Bitcoin. Bitcoin's been a bit of a challenge, I guess, for people over the last week or so. And I think Sunday today, Elon Musk even had some tweets out, and there was some rumor that he had sold all his position now on Tesla that he bought in. I guess it was about a month ago now. So it just shows you how volatile this could be. So and how Elon Musk seems to be able to manipulate the market around with tweets, which makes me a little nervous to be in it. So I've decided not to trade cryptocurrencies at this point. But kudos to those people that I know. There's lots of people out there that have made some really good money on various cryptos. Okay, let's take a quick look at the various sectors. And you can see here, consumer discretionary really took a hit last week. Just a couple of big down days back to back. Tried to bounce here on Tuesday, but again, this is the kind of price action you want to stay away from, especially, I guess, there's some concerns about the economy. This is where it's going to get hit. These are risk-on trades. Technology not looking great. It's at that 50 moving average right now. Communications looking a little bit better, but you can see the stocks are in sectors that are doing well. Industrials, materials, they'll continue to do well if the dollar continues to weaken. Energy, same story. Consumer staples, of course, the safety trade. Healthcare seems to be trying to find a base here, maybe trying to break out. And financials, pretty solid. They had a sell-off week, but then came right back up, and looking like they went out the week pretty much at a high compared to this previous pullback. So if you're going to be in anything, energy, financials, staples, materials, all looking pretty good. Industrials. So quickly, let's take a look at what we got coming up on tap this week, May 17th. Week of May 17th, we've got, we're getting towards the end of the earnings seasons, but we do have some pretty big names reporting. We've got Walmart and Home Depot. Lowe's usually follows the next day. We've got Target, TJX, Cisco on Wednesday. We've got Macy's on Tuesday morning, Kohl's, Petco, so Ross Stores. So there'll be some interesting stuff. John Deere. I'm guessing John Deere will put in some good numbers, and with commodity prices the way they are. So that's what we got coming up this week, as well as a few economic events to keep an eye on that should keep inflation in focus. Okay, let's start out with AAON. Kind of got an eye on that one. Came up in a scan. You can see here, put in a bottom, now a higher low. Volume was pretty decent the last 2 days. RSI is turning up here. We've got a nice curl up in the MACD. I wish I'd caught that earlier. Now I've got to have to wait for maybe a pullback back to about 67. If we can get that, I'll look at taking it long. So I've got an alert set on that. Etsy looks like it's putting in a bit of a sort of bottoming pattern here. So this could be a good trade for options, actually. We're looking at maybe selling some downside options, and you could buy some lower ones, sell some puts, then buy lower puts to cover yourself, or just leave them naked, maybe like a 155s. So I'll be looking at that. You can see your volume dropping right off. RSI is turning up, making a higher low here. Stochastics looking like they might turn up, and MACD looking sloping up. You can see the histogram sloping up here. So Etsy looking kind of interesting for a trade. Fuel cell, keep an eye on this one. It looks like it's still trying to hold this 7 level. All the moving averages are turning down, but you can see here RSI is turning up. So still keeping an eye on that. No position there. GDX got back into that one on Friday, so it looks like it's going to break out. Labu, I'm kind of keeping an eye on. This is sort of in line with the healthcare sector, and that we talked about earlier when we were looking at the candles at a glance. So it looks like maybe putting in a bit of a bottoming pattern here on the biotechs, healthcare. LAC, again, lithium, it is finding a bottom here. You can see this was all prior support and resistance. And so this $12 level seems to be an area where it wants to maybe hold. The only thing I'm still a little bit concerned about the fact that it is still in a downtrend and has not broken out. So just going to keep an eye on that one. Here's MDRX. You can see it broke out, came up again on a scan. 1650 was kind of the area where it broke out from, and I'll be looking for maybe a check back to that 1650 level and then maybe get involved. But the RSI looking good, stochastics looking good there. Penn, I was watching Donkey Kong, but then I looked at Penn. Penn looked a little bit better. You can see here it looks like it's trying to put in a bottom here. So again, maybe this could be a good options trade. Just selling some out of the money puts and hopefully collecting premium on it. Again, plug looking kind of like it's trying to hold this breakout level. Got an annotation on there. It does look like it is trying to get back up here. So I'd be watching for plug to still be in play. You can see here it's been pretty decent volume on Friday. UPST reported last week. You can see here really sold off hard. I did my usual options trade on this on these that I've been doing this season. I sold 120 calls expiring end of the week, and they expired worthless, so I collected the premium on that. But now they look like UPST actually had some really good numbers. And it's just the pattern that's been going on here. It doesn't matter if you report good numbers, your stock gaps up and then it sells off. Done that a number of times, but you can see here all the indicators are looking pretty good. Stochastics are turning up, MACD's turning up, and I do have a little bit from Friday. I actually have a long position on it on Friday as well. So USO, again, we're just keeping an eye on energy. Still think it might go higher if we get a still continued weakening dollar. And again here, this is X, keeping an eye on that. It's come back to this 20 moving average. Be looking for it to maybe hold here tomorrow. We'll see what happens when the market's open. But that's definitely a level to trade against. So before we wrap things up here, let's take a quick look at where we are in the futures market right now. This is the pre-market data. Of course, a lot can happen between now and the open. And we were green earlier when I looked when the market opened, when they opened up at 6 p.m. Eastern time. But now you can see we've gone red on the futures. So just a little bit red. Dow down 68. S&P minis are down just a fraction. Same with the IWM, and the Nasdaq's off about 41 points here as well. So take a quick look at commodities. Oil's off a little bit. Nat gas is, so I should have mentioned nat gas. I do have a small BOIL position, BOIL. It's looking like it's going to go higher. The chart's actually looking pretty interesting. Gold's up a little bit here, silver's up a little bit. And pretty sort of mixed bag on the treasuries, on the yields here. Nothing much moving. So anyway, well, let's see where things go. I think overall, I think we're going to get more chop next week. Watch out for IWM and the Qs. They do definitely look the weakest of the indexes. The Dow and the SPY looking the strongest, so keep that in mind. And yeah, so we'll see how things transpire next week. But that's kind of the way things look right now. So 8 o'clock in the morning, we'll see you there. It's Jared on live YouTube. He'll be talking about engineering the markets, and then Norm Carlos will be taking us through the pre-market show at 8:30 a.m. live on YouTube as well, and then of course trading the markets open at 9:30. So hopefully we'll see you at one or all of those events. Have a great rest of the evening, everybody, wherever you are, and we'll hopefully see you tomorrow. Bye for now.